What it is, homies, Mick Flubberpants all up in this hizzy. Back at you again with another episode of The Art Quest, Phase 1, Inktober. Today was day 13, and the prompt for day 13 was kind. And it took me so long to figure out what I wanted to do for this prompt. I just could not think of anything. And I decided I wanted to draw a hand again, to draw a hand better this time. And so I decided to do a POV of someone handing something to somebody else. And then I decided, you know what, let me commit to doing a background as well, because I really haven't done a good background yet. And yeah, that was my decision. It's a young man handing someone in an office cubicle a cute little note, and that's what I decided to draw. And I already figured out the poses, I got the background set up, and so now I'm just doing the second rough, trying to rough out the faces, the accessories, all the clothes and the wrinkles and all that, get that all squared away. When I'm doing pieces that aren't timed like this, I usually take the time to separate out every single element into different layers. And I guess I could be doing that now. It's just because the stress of the time limit makes me like rush things and decide, you know what, I'm just not gonna even bother with layers and stuff. I'm just gonna do all the line work on one layer, all the colors on another layer, which is a perfectly valid way to do it. I just don't actually prefer that method typically, unless I'm trying to do something a bit more painterly. And if I'm doing something painterly, I keep as much on one layer as possible. Here I am, I got the two roughs roughed out, I'm doing the line work, and I'm already just kind of, as I was doing this, I was just kind of starting to hate the drawing. Like I said, it took me forever, and I really wasn't passionate about it, but, you know, I just kept going with it, and I was like, oh, maybe I'll start liking it more when I get closer to being done. So I just kept on trucking along, and you know, I kind of like the idea of it. I like cute businesswomen. I like drawing cute businesswomen, and so I was like, oh, this is got a cute businesswoman, and I'll do that. I'll keep drawing it for that. And so there I am, drawing her eyes, looking at the note there, getting her collared shirt in, because I think women in collared shirts is hot. Putting on I'm trying to like this drawing, and this is when it really started falling apart for me. Is I made the arm a little bit too disproportional with her head and body. Her head's a little large for her body, but like, you know, anime style, they do that all the time. But then the arm is a bit too thick for the wrist I was going for, so I erased the arm, and I was seeing what it was without the rough to see how I was liking it. It's like, I mean, technically it's okay of a drawing, so I decided to focus on another part. I decided to focus on the background to get my mind off the hand, and decide to come back to it later. I do this all the time in art. It's just I usually come back to it after a couple of days instead of, you know, a few minutes like I have to do with a time challenge like this. Add it on the whiteboard, an eraser, and a marker. I decided to draw the desk freehand rather than using the straight line tool, which I really should have used. And I made the decision to give a big old chunky, like late 80s, early 90s computer. I like the way that they look, and so I made the conscious decision to do that artistically. So I guess this drawing takes place in the late 80s or early 90s. I don't know. You guys can decide. And here I am, just struggling with this hand. I hate drawing hands. Every artist I know hates drawing hands, and we do it because we have to. And the hand is way too small. And I saw that, and I was just so mad. And I tried to draw in legs, and that doesn't work out because I made the bottom a nebulous void, and the desk is curling downward because I free-handed it like an idiot, and I was getting too mad, and it had gotten past the point where I felt like I could fix it, so I just gave up. I had like another half an hour, and I was just like, no, I don't like this drawing. I want to stop. I have to stop. This is making me physically ill, and so I stopped. And so here's the final piece. Yeah, I'm not going to return to this one. This is not one that I liked. The concept I came up with, I guess I kind of like, but I'm not at the skill level to attempt that again, in my personal opinion. But with that, that is the end of this episode of The Art Quest. So McFlubberpants is over and out of this hizzy.